What is up, everybody? I'm going to be doing another Sonic game today. This one, as you can probably see, is Sonic Pocket Adventure. This was a game released for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which I had the fortune of owning as a kid. This game is essentially, although it is technically an original game, it is sort of like a dumbed down Sonic 2 port, honestly. I would consider this to be one of the weakest Sonic games. At least one of the weakest Sonic games from before the modern era. Although that said, this game is actually just on the cusp of the modern era because it was released in 1999. You'll notice that Sonic's design mirrors that of Sonic Adventure, so you could technically consider this a modern Sonic game. Although modern Sonic was 20 years ago, so however you want to look at that. So what's the deal with this game? Well, it was bundled with the Neo Geo Pocket Color, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, and was the main reason that I bought it when I bought it back in the day. Not a great purchase. In fact, the Neo Geo Pocket Color had some great fighting games, which I might do at some point. But you'll notice here, I mean, this is basically Sonic 2. The level layouts are actually a little bit different, down to even the special stages. The graphics might be very much inspired or copied from Sonic 2, but the levels are different. And what you'll notice is that although we get music from all the Sonic games, they're like put in the wrong place. So we'll have, you know, like Chemical Plant Zone playing over something that's not Chemical Plant Zone. It's kind of weird. And the reason for that, I believe, was that this game was actually not designed by Sega. This was made by SNK while being supervised by Sonic Team. And it really shows. In a lot of ways, they kind of missed the mark. And I would have to say that if you are planning to play this one, not really worth bothering. It is sort of just a dumbed down Sonic 2 port for the most part. But back in the day, you didn't have a Game Gear, which I didn't. This was the only way to play Sonic portably, so there's that. One thing that they did add that is a little bit different is they added these puzzles where you collect puzzle pieces and then put them together to form pictures. You collect these throughout the levels. I'll be grabbing some of them, but I had no interest in doing all of that, so for this particular playthrough, we're going to be going for the good ending, but not 100% puzzle pieces. Anyways, you can't get them all in one run anyway, so yeah. Now you'll see what I mean as we go through the stages, and you're going to be like, that song's not supposed to be here, but bear with it. It's actually kind of amusing more than anything. Like even this song. Obviously, this is Angel Island. And we have it in Emerald Hill. It's just weird. And what you'll notice is a few of the songs were actually sort of cut down, I guess, to save space on the cartridge. It's kind of weird. But what else can I say about it? Well, in terms of the way it controls, it almost nails it. There are a few moments when it is a little bit weird, physics-wise, and we'll see some examples of that as we go through. But it's nothing like Sonic 4 levels of bad. I always have to bash Sonic 4 in every Sonic video. But if you have played the Genesis games to death, as I have, you'll notice that the physics feel a little bit off in a few places, but it's not terrible. And it's something that you might not notice unless you're a pretty big fan of the Genesis games. One thing that this does have going for it is it does have all original bosses. That is a pretty goofy design, but I like it. One thing that I don't care for about the bosses is that you don't get a very good indication of their hitboxes sometimes. And specifically I'm talking about when the fight begins. There's no real good indicator of, okay, now you can hit him. So you try to jump on him, you phase through the sprite, and then get hit as soon as he becomes active. It's kind of annoying. And I certainly had to deal with that when I was doing practice runs. I didn't have to do an immense number of practice runs for this game, because it is pretty easy if you're used to the other Sonic games. But I wanted it to be a decent playthrough, so I didn't go in blind. Secret Plant, yeah, I'm not sure what the inspiration for that one was. Now, one thing that's kind of funny about this game is that, I guess, again, to save cartridge space, there aren't that many zones, which means that you really don't get much margin of error if you're trying to go for the special stages. Like, if you want to get all the emeralds, you really don't have room to make that many mistakes. And before you ask, there is no supersonic in, well, no supersonic in the regular levels. Aha, we'll get to that. Because you're only able to actually collect 6 emeralds as you go through the game. So I'm sure you've noticed by now that, as I mentioned, the level layouts are completely different, which makes you wonder why they didn't just go for an original game instead of taking the tile sets. And I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. It's because it was a different studio doing this one, and they kind of just took Sonic Team's ideas. I put down on this game, but really it's not bad. It's just I don't see much of a reason to go back and play it with all the other Sonic games that are available. One thing that's kind of interesting, as I went back and was researching this one before doing the playthrough, this game actually reviewed really well back in the day. And I don't remember that, I just remember buying it because it was Sonic. As I was going back and looking at the review scores, I was seeing like 97, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Like, a lot of outlets really liked this game. I suppose it is impressive in a way that they really did manage to get the speed down. There is a little bit of slowdown as we go through, you'll notice some of that, but for the most part it does a pretty good job of keeping Sonic's sense of speed. You would know from playing the Game Gear games and the Game Boy Advance port of Sonic 1 that Sonic in handheld has not always done particularly well with the speed aspect. So there's that going for it, I guess. But yeah, on the whole, not too big a fan. But we are trying to get through every single Sonic game, or at least almost every single Sonic game on this channel, so that's why we're doing it. And if nothing else, it's worth seeing just for the original bosses, and just to see how weird it is to have certain songs playing where they shouldn't be playing. Another thing I will say about this game, at least in terms of the special stages, certainly part of it has got to be that I've just, after playing the Sonic 2 ones so many times, I just have them kind of memorized. But it seems to me that these are actually quite a bit more difficult than the Sonic 2 ones. But again, that might just be lack of practice on these. But it seems like a lot more bombs, and a little bit less margin for error. Now, I'm trying to think, and I didn't actually look this up before I started doing this. I'm trying to remember if there's any other way to play this other than the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I don't think there is. I don't think this has made its way onto any Sonic collections or anything. Which, again, is not really that big a loss, but if you do want to play this, your options are pretty much buy a Neo Geo Pocket Color or emulate, which is probably going to be the easiest way for most people. Although I don't think that the Neo Geo Pocket Color goes for all that much on eBay, but it's probably still over $100, which, yeah. The one thing that system had going for it was a really, really good joystick. I think it was like micro-switched and everything. And even if not, it felt really good. In fact, you could do quarter circles and dragon punch motions and stuff like really well with it. Just kind of cool. Of course, this game doesn't really take advantage of that, but there's an example right there. You see the way I was able to run along that ceiling? That was not the physics we all know and love. It was a little bit different. Alright, we got another kind of weird boss here. This is like some sort of weird version of the Flying Battery Zone, or not Flying Battery Zone, but Death Egg mini-boss, I guess. I'll say this too, as I was doing my practice runs, I was like, man, some of these bosses are actually kind of difficult. Which again, might just be lack of practice, but like, for a boss number 2, this is actually pretty tough. Anyways, that'll do it. You know, another thing that's kind of funny is, I don't know off the top of my head the exact specs of the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I assume it's a more powerful system than the Game Gear. But that said, it doesn't, this game at least, doesn't look significantly better than some of the better Game Gear or Master System games. Like in particular, I think it was Sonic Chaos. The sprite work in that was really, really good, especially for a handheld. What the heck is the deal with those platforms? They look really strange. But anyways, it's not bad. We do have a little bit of movement on some of the background here, which is pretty nice. Not on all the background, but on some of it at least. I didn't mention it, but it's kind of self-explanatory. In order to get to the special stage, it follows the Sonic 1 rules. 50 rings at the end of the level will get you a super ring. And then you jump into the super ring as if it were Sonic 1, and you do a Sonic 2 special stage. Again, just kind of weird. And it gets weirder too, because we're going to start seeing elements of Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles as well. Kind of strange. Again, I don't know if I would go out of your way to play this one, but just kind of watching the progression of it is kind of interesting. The way they decided to put stuff together. Yeah, as with Sonic 2, when I did that playthrough, there's really not much to talk about in these special stages. Although, I will say, these ones, in this game, give you some pretty weird patterns every once in a while. Where you're having to, like, zigzag in between bombs to gather rings and stuff. Like I said, I do find these to be a little bit more difficult than the Sonic 2 ones. And there were a few portions where I really had to, like, try and remember what was coming next, so as not to get hit. By the way, I did not mention it, but this game does have a save function. Kind of similar to, like, Sonic 3. So if I were to quit out in the middle of this at any point, I could go back and reload. And this is also how you would go back and get all of the photo pieces that you're missing. So you can go back and replay the stages that you've beaten already. There's also a time trial mode, which, you know, whatever, it's fine. Not something you probably spend a great amount of time in. And one thing that I never got a chance to try, because I was the only person I knew that had one of these, the Neo Geo Pocket Color, was there is actually a competitive versus mode where you race through the levels. I guess one person controls Tails. Never got a chance to try that. And then of course the puzzle thing that I mentioned where you combine the photo pieces to create puzzles. And I think what you get for completing all of them is, like, you unlock Sound Test, which is like, yay. I guess. I miss the days of just up, down, left, right, or entering a certain sequence to get debug mode, but whatever. It's something, I guess. So I guess you could say there is actually a reasonable amount of content. It's just whether or not it's enough to hold your interest. So I'll give them that. Because the game is rather short, if it didn't have that, then it would definitely be a much worse game. Come on. As per tradition, I am going to have to jump in a slot machine at some point as we go through here. I'll find one. Don't worry. Aha. That was almost it. There we go. Well, that was a little bit of a letdown. Oh well, moving on. I would have been more excited for 3 Robotniks, in fact. But, oh well. Or Eggmen, I guess would be the plural. Alright, this one is actually pretty close to the Sonic 2 version, but not exactly. I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to be. He just kind of zooms at you, and you have to just get yourself in the correct position to hit him back repeatedly. You obviously don't want to hit the gem at the bottom. Yeah, kind of weird. See, now we got Mushroom Hill playing over Aquatic Ruin. It's just weird. It feels wrong. And I think this is one of the songs that was shortened. Or it might have been the next one for Act 2. But just pay attention, it's like you expect the song to keep going and then it doesn't. Okay. Another thing that's very strange about the special stages is you notice they change the colors, but not every time. Again, I guess it probably came down to saving space on the cartridge, but it's like we had blue, now we have red. We didn't get a different color every time. You know, as dumb as it sounds when you're a kid playing these, a lot of times a palette swap is enough to blow your mind. I'm thinking like a lot of JRPGs and stuff, you're like, whoa, it's that same enemy, but it's in red, you know? And it was always cool as a kid being like, hey, I made it to the next special stage, what color is it now? You don't really get that here. You know, while we're on the topic of things that I owned as a kid, one of the best things that my parents ever bought me, I don't remember if it was birthday or Christmas or what, was the Sega Nomad. If you never played the Sega Nomad, it was this enormous monstrosity that actually played Sega Genesis games. It had a battery pack that took like 6 AA's and lasted for like 20 minutes, which was not great, but you could also use an AC adapter. And I had many times of being on trips and stuff and plugging it into the wall and making my way through Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Good times. In fact, I also remember that I originally didn't own any 6-button controllers, and so playing Primal Rage on the Nomad with the 6 buttons blew my mind because you could map special moves to the 3rd button. Such strange memories we have, huh? But we're talking about Sonic right now, not Primal Rage. I guess we're going to have to wait a little bit before we start getting the really weird special stages. You'll see what I mean, though. If you're really used to the Sonic 2 ones, you're going to look at it and go, that's different. By the way, those little fire flowers or whatever that come through, I don't know what the inspiration was there, other than maybe it was Mario. Was the continue. That's what got us to continue. Alright, so this is the song that does not have the entire song in it. I remember this one. So we got Hydro City, which kind of makes sense with Aquatic Ruin, right? But the song doesn't loop the way you would think it does. It was really jarring to me when I went back and played it again. You see? Wasn't that weird? It's missing like the coolest part of the song. Such a shame. You know, it's funny, just hearing that song is making me want to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles instead, but this is fine. So now things get weird. You thought we were playing Sonic 2, and all of a sudden here's the Knuckles fight from Sonic and Knuckles, along with Flying Battery music, which actually fits pretty well, I'll give him that. This one made sense to me. You'll notice, however, Knuckles' hitbox is really weird. Like I just bounced off his fists, and I had many times in practice runs where it looked like I should have hit him, but it ended up hurting me instead. So if it looks like I'm being a little bit careful, it's because I am. Now, I will give this game this. If it has one positive thing, it has the most unintentionally hilarious thing that I've ever seen in a Sonic game. Got kind of an abridged version of Sonic and Knuckles thing here. Alright, here we go, here we go. Hey, are you okay? Sure you can! I have no words for what just happened, but I loved it. I think that alone justifies this game's existence. Oh boy. So yeah, here we are in Sky Chase Zone. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the Versus stages, right? The music for Sonic 3. That actually was a shame, like some of the music that was used in those is actually some of the best in that game. So it was kind of a shame that they never used them for something else. And now they have, I guess. Although I will say I always enjoyed the kind of relaxed atmosphere of Sky Chase from Sonic 2. Kind of a nice, peaceful song. Oh, well, I messed that one up. It's okay, I'm not collecting them all anyway. I do actually want to get to 50 rings because there is the opportunity to do a special stage here. Yeah, I'm gonna not jump on that, I guess. You gotta wonder what Eggman's rationale for putting that there was. Like, if they fly in this very specific trajectory, Sonic might jump on it on purpose. I don't know. I think I'm overanalyzing a little bit. And Tails does not get shot down in this iteration. So what actually happened to the Neo Geo Pocket Color, huh? Well, it was released in 1999. I think in the US it came out in August, and it was discontinued in June of 2000. So, not exactly a commercial success. That said, it does have a few gems. Like I said, mostly fighting games. I owned The Last Blade and Samurai Showdown. I think there was also King of Fighters and like some sort of SNK crossover game, which I haven't played. But yeah, this is where the special stages start to get a little bit trickier, as you can tell. This one I actually had to practice a little bit to try and memorize what was going on. By the way, I'm not sure if you know this, but there actually was a Neo Geo Pocket as well, before the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which was in black and white, and I know very little about it. I don't think I've ever played any games on it. Although I think that, now that I think about it, I think that it was backwards compatible, the color version. So that was good. But that wasn't enough to save it. Yeah, I almost got hit there. Ooh. You see what I mean? That's like pretty tricky for one of these. You didn't have anything that weird in Sonic 2. Oh, now one other weird thing, little bit of trivia about this game. That's a cool pattern, I like that one. Is that the team that made this game actually went on to become part of a new studio, which is known as Dimps, in 2000. And according to what I read, that was a team funded by Sega, Sony, and Bandai. And that company was responsible for Sonic Advance, which I don't think I've ever played, but I know is sort of a fan favorite. I'll get to that one eventually. So they did go on to produce more Sonic-related stuff, and stuff that, by all accounts, is supposedly pretty good. And I think they ended up making some other Sonic games as well. In fact, let me check out what games they've made. Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Sonic Advance 3. Oh, they made Budokai 3. That's the one that I played with the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games. And then, yeah, looks like a bunch of other games here, too. Interesting. You know, once again, I'm going to give it to him. The Death Egg music playing over Winged Fortress kind of makes sense, in a way. Alright, I had a heck of a time during my practice runs on this part, because the rhythm is not exactly what you'd think it would be on those. This level also has, if I remember correctly, a couple sections where if you're just running forward, it runs you straight into a propeller, so watch out for that. Like right there. Alright, now here's an example of the physics. Like, what in the world? I know I have speed shoes, but that would never work in the Genesis games. Pretty weird. Now, as we go through this, I want you to imagine what you think the boss is going to be, because it's probably not what you're imagining. But it is something you would expect to see in this game, just perhaps not on this level. Aha! Didn't see that coming, did you? I will say we've made it through most of the game so far without any significant slowdown, so that's not bad. It's definitely not on the level of Sonic 1 on the Game Boy, or Game Gear, rather. Incidentally, there is a Sonic 1 on the Game Boy, but it's a ROM hack of a Speedy Gonzales game. Yep, it's Silver Sonic. Or whatever his official name is supposed to be. This was another guy that, as he comes up out of the ground, you do not get a good indicator of when he actually becomes damageable. Got him. And then he falls down like that as if he were the other Metal Sonic from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's so weird. I love Sonic's little look there, like, that was weird. Alright, now we're in for something really weird. So they decided to take the two most beloved levels in the entirety of 2D Sonic, Scrap Brain Zone and Metropolis Zone, and combine them. Yes, I know these are my two favorite zones in Sonic. I'll give them this, though. At least it's not 3 acts long. They should have just taken the risk and gone Genocide City, you know what I mean? But whatever. Aw, come on. And in terms of difficulty, this is pretty much exactly what you would expect from a zone that is Scrap Brain and Metropolis at the same time. We're talking areas where if you just run straight ahead, you'll fly into one of the mantids. We're talking lava and spike traps and general unpleasantness. But again, it's only 2 acts, so we can stand it. Yep, see, there's one. Oh yeah, that guy smacked me many times during the practice runs. There's another one. You know, I will say this too, although we do have the starfish enemies, we don't have as many of them, so they're not as big a deal. I think this is the last emerald, right? It must be, because this is the last level. Spoilers. Like I said, you really don't get any margin for error. If you had missed any one of these special stages or gone in and failed, you would have to, like, quit and load your game. As I'm looking right now, by the way, on eBay, Sonic Pocket Adventure kind of ranges in price. I see one for $15. and I see a complete one for 200 or even 300 complete in box. Unless you're a hardcore collector, might I recommend not buying that? But yeah. Yeah, there are quite a few of these up here. I imagine that the reason this never made it into any of the Sonic collections was, one, because probably nobody was really asking for it, but two, probably licensing issues, because this is not only licensed by SNK, it's made by SNK. So that probably makes things a little bit complicated. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, chickened out on that one. What can I say? I don't want to get hit. Look at that. That's kind of different too, huh? Yeah, that was kind of a brutal second part of that level. So there we go. There are all the Chaos Emeralds. You'll notice that Eggman took the 7th one, so as I mentioned, we're not going to be turning into Supersonic. Sort of the same logic they used on a lot of the Game Gear games, actually. Is he going to drop us back into Labyrinth Zone? That would have been a pretty weird callback, but nope, he doesn't. It is kind of interesting seeing Eggman or Robotnik in his Sonic Adventure or modern Sonic style in 2 dimensions. This would have been, I think, the first time we would have seen that. Kind of different. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this song was also from one of the Sonic 3 multiplayer stages, right? Once again, another really good song. Let's not go that way. He tried. He certainly tried. Now, the boss of this level is another really strange one. It's like a combination of a couple bosses. This is hilarious, by the way. And again, Sonic just kind of breaks the fourth wall. So think Hydro City as we do this. Kind of weird, right? And off the top of my head, I don't really know, but those kind of look like the bombs that the first boss in Sonic 3 drops, or the airship on your way to the first boss. So again, just kind of strange. And again, I'm saying these bosses are a little bit more difficult than you might imagine. Like, were this in one of the Genesis games, he probably wouldn't be shooting those little projectiles. He probably would just be dropping the bombs. Anyways, that's that one done. Alright, now I want you to guess what the final zone is going to look like. Yep, now we're in Sonic and Knuckles again. Now pay attention, because you're not going to be able to hit this guy as he spawns in like this. You gotta wait till about there. Otherwise, you're just going to get hit as soon as he materializes. So the way that you collect this final emerald is you have to hit it enough times to knock it loose. And that's going to be essential for getting the good ending. You notice again, not a lot of margin for error there. Because if I had just hit him there, I would have lost it. And based on where we're standing, I think you know what's coming next. Oh yeah. It's Doomsday time. Or Chaotic Space time. And once again, I'll give them credit. This music, Sky Chase, or Sky Sanctuary music, almost fits better than the Doomsday Zone music, in my opinion. This plays out a little bit differently than the Sonic & Knuckles version. You have to boost into the missiles to knock them back. Don't ask me how that works. Yeah, we're doing great so far. Alright. Should we let him go? Nope. Supersonic takes no prisoners. Alright, everybody. So that was Sonic Pocket Adventure. Pretty weird, right? I think the main reason to look at this game nowadays is just how strange it is if you're really familiar with the Genesis era Sonic. As usual, Tails has impeccable timing. Woo! And then we get this little cutscene, which again is using the Sonic Adventure style art. You'll notice when we hit the Knuckles screen, that's definitely Sonic Adventure style Knuckles. And that was the game. Pretty weird, but probably worth checking out. I don't know. Maybe give it a look. I wouldn't necessarily buy the $200 complete in box version, but yeah, kind of a weird novelty. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. Feel free to check out my channel for plenty of other Sonic and non-Sonic related content. As per usual, I will also be uploading a long play version of this playthrough, which is all the way through, no commentary, because I like doing those as well, with the goal of compiling a playlist of pretty much every single Sonic game as we go through. I've got a long way to go, but I'm making progress on it. Anyways, that's about all I had to say. I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I will see you on the next video. Until then.